This video is intended to give you a very quick orientation to the tool called Kumu, which is a network map. We have here another representation of all the different organizations that participated in the Gen Thrive 2020 survey. You can see that they have these clusters going on, which don't make a lot of sense until you zoom in a little bit more. So if you zoom in, the navigation for Kumu is mostly in the top right-hand corner. So we'll jump into a specific cluster here. This one is Houston. So these are all the organizations that are headquartered out of Houston. And you'll notice that there's these color coding going on around them. That is indicating, as the legend says down here in the bottom left-hand corner, which organizations are serving elementary school, which are serving teachers and administrators, which programs serve high school, middle school, and the community at large. And then the size of the bubble, right? This gray bubble, which can be small or large, that indicates how many people, or whether that's teachers or students, were served in the 2019-20 school year. So if you want to click on one of them, let's say Baytown Nature Center, from the left-hand side will pop up a quick profile on Baytown Nature Center. It gives you information about the environmental themes that they teach, their education service center headquarters, their high school, their groups that they serve, which is high school in this case, a contact, their mission, offerings, website, etc. And the way you turn that on and off is you can click this little square in the top corner, but you can illuminate those again by clicking on another organization. So what's neat about Kumu is that you can actually rearrange how all of these different organizations are clustered, and you can also change the color coding in the legend. And you do that by going over to the settings on the top right-hand corner. Now, a couple of tips here. Right now, you can size the bubble, right, by the total number served in 2019-20, and that is the kind of entry display that you see when you first open this up. You can also size the bubble by how many full-time staff they have. And you can size that by their ESC headquarters, which doesn't make a lot of sense, frankly, but they draw from anything that has a number. So we'll go back to the total served. And similarly, you can color code them, right? So you can color code them by, instead, let's do color coding by the offerings. And it'll all toggle around and rearrange. And rather than connecting them by the region, the geographic region, we can also connect them by whether or not they have a focus on serving rural communities. So there's a lot of different toggling that can be done. And the legend, when you need to open and close the settings here. When you close that again, the legend will be down here in the left-hand corner, and you can see what the color coding means. Again, kind of clicking on an organization, up will pop a quick directory. Those three little buttons here helps you close it. One thing that is powerful about Kumu that we have yet to demonstrate and experiment with, but would like to in 2021, is that we could actually have a tier of secondary relationships. So if you imagine going into, the Austin area and looking for everybody that does, environmental education from the nonprofit sector, there's the possibility of being able to tag those organizations as with their associations and networks. So we could indicate which organizations, quickly cluster them, which organizations belong to the TAEE, or which ones belong to the Texas Children in Nature, or even which ones are funded by a certain government agency or a foundation if we receive that type of information. So there's a neat way to sort of see the collaborative opportunities and relationships beyond just the service providers, but to other types of entities as well, such as government entities, the philanthropy world, etc. And that is a quick tour of Kumu.